Welcome to the grand finale. 22 lessons behind you, one capstone ahead. Today we converge 4 stages into a single production-ready Ubuntu server. Foundation in red, services in orange, hardening in blue, and operate in green. 30 tasks one day, and by the end you'll own a real, hardened, monitored, automated machine. Not theory, but a box you'd actually ship. Here's the scenario. A fresh Ubuntu 2404 Cloud VM lands in your lap at sunrise, and by close of business it's serving a production HTTPS app. Hardened, backed up, monitored, automated. We break that day into 30 numbered tasks, 5 per stage across 4 stages, plus 10 integration tasks that stitch it all together. This is the exact recipe I run internally for every new server. Follow it in order, tick each box, and by task 30, you don't just have a server, you have a mature one. Stage 1, Foundation. The red block, roughly 2 hours of work. You verify cloud in it and pull a fresh kernel, then carve out your own admin user with sudo and a working SSH key. And you test that sudo before you log out, always. Next, lock the default Ubuntu Cloud user so nobody rides in on a known name. Then carve a dedicated data volume with LVM, mount it by UUID and fstab, and finally make the shell yours. htop, jq, tmux, restic, aliases, a prompt that shows your Git branch. This stranger's VM now answers to you. Stage 2, Services, the orange block, about 3 hours, where the box starts earning its keep. Task 6 installs nginx with TLS from Let's Encrypt, HTTP2 on, server tokens off, HSTS in the header, a reverse proxy you'd actually put on the public internet. 7 brings up LXD with a single dev container, a safe sandbox to break things in. 8 is your first real system unit pair, a one-shot service driven by a timer at 3 in the morning, persistent across reboots. 9 makes journal permanent on disk with sane size limits, and 10 nails down hostname and DNS so the machine knows who it is. By the end of this stage, you've got a useful server. Now the blue block, stage 3, Hardening, roughly 2 hours to slam every door shut. Task 11 sets a UFW baseline, default deny inbound, only SSH and web through, then verifies the real ineffable's rule set underneath. 12 drops a hardening config into sh.config.d, no root, no passwords, keys only. 13 wires failban into sh with the UFW ban action, so repeat offenders get firewalled, not just kicked. 14 flips AppArmor to enforce across the board with a custom Nginx profile, and 15 hands patching to unattended upgrades in Ubuntu Pro Live Patch. Security fixes land while you sleep. And now the green block, stage 4, Operate, where the server grows up. Task 16 sets up Restic to S3 with an encrypted repo and a least privilege IAM user. Fires nightly at 2:30 with 7.412 retention. And yes, you actually run a restore drill this week. Untested backups don't count. 17 and 18 give you eyes and ears. Prometheus, Node Exporter, Grafana Dashboard, 1860. Then Alert Manager routing host down, disk filling fast with predictor on linear, and back up too old into Slack or PagerDuty. 19 captures everything you just built into one Ansible site, IML. Common, Nginx, UFW, failed to ban, monitoring, backup, pulled hourly. And 20 containerizes one app the modern way. A rootless Podman Quadlet, all capabilities dropped, read-only file system, managed by System Kiro like any other unit. And that brings us to the integration tier. Tasks 21 through 30, where the 4 stages stop being separate colors and start behaving like one machine. Each task here deliberately crosses lesson boundaries, an end-to-end attack drill that lights up Failban, AppArmor, and Prometheus at once. A restore drill that proves backups and Nginx config actually talk to each other. Chaos tests, SSH lockout recovery, idempotency checks, AppArmor triage, container bypass detection, a full LTS upgrade dress rehearsal, drift detection, and finally task 30, handing your runbook to a colleague who rebuilds the whole thing on a fresh VM in under 8 hours. Finish all 10, and the capstone is yours. Now, once you finish the capstone, you'll inevitably hit a topic where you want to go 10 times deeper, and that's exactly what these 6 mastery courses are for. Each one grew out of a bridge slide you already saw. SSH hardening from lesson 13, failban and crowdsec from 14, Linux hardening from 15, container hardening from 16, and Ansible from lesson 20. 13 lessons each, single topic, production depth. Pick whichever one is screaming loudest at your day job. That's your next move. Before you leave, here are the 23 rules. One distilled from every lesson, color-coded by stage so you can see the whole journey at a glance. Red is your foundation. Reboot after that first upgrade. Lock the cloud init user. Scope sudo. Use LVM and always set EUO pipe fail. Orange covers services and storage discipline. Blue is your hardening core. SSH keys. Default deny. Failban. App armor enforced with intent. And green is the operate phase. Live patch on. Backups drilled. Ansible never blind. Runbooks tested on a real colleague. Print this. Tape it above your monitor. That's the whole course on one page. Step back and look at what you actually did. 23 lessons, 276 production slides, 4 stages, 6 bridges connecting them, and 30 capstone tasks on a real machine. This wasn't a list. It was a graph. Every lesson referenced downstream. Every command building on the last. Senior engineers reached this point after years of incidents and 3 a.m. pages. You reached it here, on purpose, with a recipe. Thank you for joining Ubuntu Mastery. And here's the proof, measured in wall clock time. You can spin up a fresh Ubuntu VM and lock it down in 30 minutes. Nginx with HTTPS, LXD, scheduled jobs, persistent logs, 2 hours. Full hardening in 1. Backups, Grafana, Ansible, Quadlet, another 2. You can survive a real incident and hand the runbook to a junior who rebuilds production in under 8 hours. That's not theory. That's mastery you can put on a calendar. And that's it. Foundation, services, hardening, operate, all 4 stages complete. 23 lessons, a 30-point capstone, and a server you actually trust. You're not a student anymore. You're the engineer the runbook gets handed to. So close the slides, open a terminal, and go run a server. I'll see you in production.